So, welcome everyone to our monthly free Soul Power session with me, Louise Charman-James from Soul Signature. Lovely to have some of you with me live today, and hi to everyone catching it on the replay. So, these calls are aimed to help you to clear whatever's in the way of your authentic self expression, you expressing the soul signature that you are, and sharing your light with the world and connecting and having that beautiful experience of experiencing your light reflected back to you, which is what happens really when we are in that place of an open heart where we are able to let go of limiting beliefs of the mind. And our theme today is finding your soul tribe. So we'll be exploring a little bit today, what gets in the way of us feeling that deep connection? What gets in the way of us feeling that connection with others, feeling that we're with the people that really get us, where we can really be ourselves? I think that's what most of you really defined as soul tribe when you filled in that form for me, which I'm grateful that you all do that. That gives us material to work with. So I'll be working with some compassion key clearing phrases. Compassion key is a beautiful modality. I'm a master practitioner of that. I really like this. I'm a light language channel as well, so I'll be offering an activation later on as well. But this process of just meeting with compassion the parts of ourselves that may have experienced feeling abandoned, rejected, shut out, not included, misunderstood, all of those experiences that we might have had. I know a lot of you would identify as being star seeds, and you may well have that feeling that you've been kind of abandoned on the earth, that you've lost connection with your true soul tribe, that you don't belong here. So all of those experiences, when we meet them with our loving compassion, then we can dissolve them, and then that just gives us that space to really experience our true selves here and experience that in our connection with others. And of course, the human experience is one of individuation. It is one ultimately of, initially at least, that experience of being separate from source and separate from others. But of course, that's actually part of the joy of the experience, is to be in that individuated experience. But we don't want that to then close us down to interacting with others who are, really ultimately reflecting aspects of ourselves as well, because we are all one. So let's take a moment just to drop in and connect. So just making yourself comfortable in your space. So turn off the mic on. So yeah, hi Chantal, great to have you with us. Just keep an eye if anyone else pops in. Okay, so let's just take a moment to close our eyes, just feeling your feet on the floor, connecting to the earth beneath you, and taking a breath into your beautiful heart. It's through our hearts that we connect with others, and it's our hearts that sometimes we close down to protect ourselves. So today, I want to take you on a journey of opening and softening your heart again, so that you can really feel that and experience that connection with others and with all of us as simply as expressions of the divine, expressions of life in different forms. None of us any better or worse than another, but just unique and different, and at the same time unified by our experience of being that divinity expressing itself in form. So just take a moment to feel the multidimensional nature of your own heart and your own being, and inviting in all aspects of yourself today for today's clearings and activations. There will be parts of you that are already open and free and authentic and connected. And there will be parts of you that feel abandoned and isolated and alone and misunderstood. So today we're opening our heart to all aspects of ourselves and welcoming in the healings and the activations today, not just for our highest good, but for the highest good of humanity and all of creation. And we ask that now and give thanks for that now. And calling for all of our higher selves, the I am presence that is all of us, to co-create this call for us today and guide it to be in the highest for all of us and all of creation. So just taking a breath of gratitude, welcoming all of yourself into the space now. And as those of you know who have been with me before, I often open with a little channeled message that comes through from the family of light. It's just who I connect with. So I'm going to read that first, and I invite you just to receive that with an open heart and to notice what arises for you. We will use the chat to interact during our clearings, and when I guide you in the clearings, you'll be speaking out loud in your own space the phrases that I'm guiding you through, and I'll be inviting you to share in the chat anything else that's arising for you that we can meet with some clearing. And as I said at the end, I'll do an activation for us, bring through a light language activation. Okay, so let's just open our hearts to receive our message today around finding your soul tribe. One of the most wondrous aspects of choosing the experience of separation by being human is the journey back to the experience of union. You choose to experience yourself in an individual body, to think from an individual mind, to feel from an individual heart, and yet in truth, you are never truly separate from anyone or anything. When you look around and you see others, you perceive them through the lens of how you perceive and feel yourself. You may believe that others hurt you, so you close your heart when an open heart would allow those feelings to flow through you, be witnessed and eased. But the walls go up around your heart and then nobody can get in. Or rather, you can no longer access your heart. You shut yourself out, and it looks and feels like you are shut off from others, when you are really only shut off to your own love. So when you truly see that there are so many aspects of yourself, that you truly are the universe, then you will only ever see reflections of the beauty, power, love, and glory of yourself and those around you. The journey to find your soul tribe is ultimately a journey to find yourself and reconcile with all aspects of your being, even those that have become fragmented and are hurt, angry, resentful, judgmental, grieving, or afraid. The journey back to your soul tribe is a homecoming, and really the homecoming is to yourself, when you can revel in all aspects of yourself, when you can accept with a loving heart all expressions of your being. Then you will find connections with others flow so easily. You will find that others of like mind and like heart will appear around you, and you will feel your hearts connect in recognition and wonder. Experiences that you have of loneliness, of abandonment, of rejection, are all simply that, experiences which are colors on the canvas of life. And just as it is such a celebration and a feeling of relief and sanctuary when you find your soul tribe around you, when you experience the possibility of co-creating in this reality with other beautiful hearts, so the same celebration is found within you when you fall in love with all of yourself. Okay, so let's just take a few deep breaths just to integrate that message. And feel free to share in the chat anything that's rising for you in response to that. And then we'll share the message again when I send out the email with the replay so you can absorb that again. All right, so I'm going to begin with some group clearing. So I'm going to say some phrases out loud using the compassion key, which is a format whereby we use the phrase, "I'm so sorry," before expressing limiting beliefs, feelings, or experiences that we or aspect of ourselves has had. So when we're naming these, we're not naming them as truth, but we're recognizing and presencing them as the subjective truth of parts of yourself. So there are parts of yourself that have felt lonely, parts of yourself that have felt misunderstood, cut off, isolated, lost, right? And when we speak from our whole higher selves, we're speaking this these phrases of loving compassion to those parts of ourselves, it allows those aspects to feel recognized, to be seen, and to let go of basically that karmic imprint, that energetic residue that's sitting there from whatever experience has led to that belief or feeling. So you will need to speak these phrases out loud in your own space. You're all on mute. So when you speak these, you are speaking them to yourself. And it is the power of your own loving compassion, your own open heart, that is transmuting these experiences, beliefs, and feelings, and then creating space for you to have a different experience. All right. So let's begin. So closing your eyes, taking a deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, and saying the phrases out loud after me. I'm so sorry you don't feel at home here.
I am so sorry you don't feel at home here.
Somebody is unmuted. I'm so sorry you feel like you don't belong here. I'm so sorry you feel out of place. I'm so sorry you didn't feel at home with them. I'm so sorry you didn't feel you belonged with them. I'm so sorry you couldn't be yourself with them. I'm so sorry you lost yourself. I'm so sorry you had to hide behind a mask. I'm so sorry you had to create a persona to survive. I'm so sorry you had to change who you were to be accepted by them. I'm so sorry you had to please them to be loved. I'm so sorry they just didn't get you. I'm so sorry they didn't resonate with you. I'm so sorry you didn't resonate with them. I'm so sorry you didn't speak their language. I'm so sorry they didn't speak yours. I'm so sorry you couldn't have meaningful conversations with them. I'm so sorry you couldn't share your heart. I'm so sorry when you tried, they misunderstood you. I'm so sorry when you tried, they ignored you. I'm so sorry you felt alone. I'm so sorry you felt lonely. I'm so sorry you felt isolated. I'm so sorry you felt alone even when you were with people. I'm so sorry you're sad. Okay, so let's just take a breath. So just noticing in yourself if any of those landed. Feel free to share in the chat if any of those brought up any other feelings or thoughts. We can do some compassion around those as well. So these ones mainly really naming the experience of being with others where you didn't feel that they were your soul tribe. I can remember having this experience being in a job that I'd really outgrown. And I remember being at this lunch, Christmas lunch, and looking around and going, oh my God, I just don't fit in here. So that was when I was a lot younger. Now I have a beautiful experience of soul tribe. So thanks, Chantal, sharing. Open heart with no boundaries, feeling responsible for others leads to patterns of rescuing behavior. Yeah, to shut down and take on their rules. Yeah, and so for many of us who are empathic, maybe that feeling that even if you don't fit in with them, you're some way responsible for harmonizing that environment or making them feel better. Yasmin says they all resonated. Also, feeling of banishment and abandonment came up for me. Yeah. Okay, great. We'll do some around that. Yeah, April says feeling responsible for everyone else's happiness. Okay, beautiful. All right, let's do some phrases around that before we go into another batch. I've got a few here. All right, so again, taking a deep breath and saying the phrases along with me. I'm so sorry your heart had no boundaries. I'm so sorry you could feel them as well as yourself. I'm so sorry you felt responsible for their feelings. I'm so sorry you thought it was your job to rescue them. I'm so sorry you had to follow their rules. I'm so sorry you had to shut down your true self. I'm so sorry you were banished. I'm so sorry you were abandoned. I'm so sorry you were cast out. I'm so sorry you felt responsible for everyone else's happiness. I'm so sorry you couldn't be happy until they were all happy. I'm so sorry you denied yourself for them. I'm so sorry you had to raise your own parents. I'm so sorry they were wounded children crying out for help. I'm so sorry you put your own needs aside to tend to theirs. I'm so sorry you had to grow up before you could be a child. I'm so sorry you had to pretend to be who they wanted you to be. I'm so sorry you learned to abandon yourself. I'm so sorry you're so deeply sad. I'm so sorry you got separated from Source. I'm so sorry that being human is an experience of separation and isolation. All right, everyone, take a breath. Thank you for sharing those. All right, let's do a few phrases around betrayal, not being able to trust people, closing our hearts, and also around um, moving beyond perhaps our loved ones, evolving and them not keeping up with us. All right, and as always, feel free to share in the chat whatever arises for you with these phrases. Okay, so another deep. Okay, yeah, Alison's saying banishment's huge for me. Spans lifetimes. Yeah. Chantal, reclaiming the self is so hard. Okay, all right, we'll let those in a moment. All right, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, saying the phrases out loud after me. I'm so sorry you couldn't rely on others. I'm so sorry you couldn't trust others. I'm so sorry they betrayed you. I'm so sorry you betrayed yourself. I'm so sorry you became cynical about relationships. I'm so sorry you put walls up around your heart to protect yourself. I'm so sorry you accidentally isolated yourself. I'm so sorry you decided you could only rely on yourself. I'm so sorry your protection became a prison. I'm so sorry you couldn't find your people. I'm so sorry the ones you were with made you think you were wrong. I'm so sorry they made you think you were stupid. I'm so sorry they made you think you were weird. I'm so sorry they couldn't welcome you. I'm so sorry they couldn't celebrate you. I'm so sorry they didn't know how to nurture you. I'm so sorry they broke your heart. I'm so sorry you felt abandoned and unloved. I'm so sorry you were disappointed. I'm so sorry you felt angry and resentful. I'm so sorry you didn't think you were worthy of being loved. I'm so sorry you doubted your own existence. I'm so sorry you got used to being alone. I'm so sorry you got too comfortable being alone. I'm so sorry you craved company, but you avoided it. I'm so sorry you're afraid they'll find out who you really are. I'm so sorry you're afraid they won't find out who you really are. I'm so sorry you outgrew them. I'm so sorry they couldn't change with you. I'm so sorry you had to walk away from them. I'm so sorry you had to let them go. I'm so sorry you had to lose something to gain something. I'm so sorry you had to lose them in order to find you. I'm so sorry reclaiming yourself is so hard. Take a breath. All right, so feel free to share in the chat any of those that particularly landed. And then we might do a bit more around banishment, maybe feeling that we're being punished by having this experience. So, yeah, just share how that last batch was for you. Fear that I won't be loved if I'm all of myself. Yeah. So I put that phrase in. I'm so sorry you're afraid they'll find out who you really are, right? We're afraid they're going to find out that we won't measure up, but also we're afraid they won't find out who we really are in our truth, right? That feeling that we won't. Kim says, yeah, hiding myself to fit in. But that's such a deep pain in the heart and soul, isn't it? When we feel that we're not really revealing all of ourselves, we're not really being truly seen, which is what our soul desires that, right? We want to be here in our fullest expression. Yeah, Lisa's saying, yes, it does feel like a punishment. Yes, and the belief I'm false if they find out who I am. Yeah, that feeling like we're a fraud, that we won't be measure up. Alison saying goodbye is so hard, but I feel I need to in order to grow. So sad, but also a relief. And yeah, so we might do some phrases around, if there's a feeling sometimes that we're kind of betraying the tribe. Often we can, in our family of origin, we will fit in around a certain experience of suffering. So, it could be that, we're all kind of miserable together. We all suffer together. We're all poor together. We all struggle together, right? Becomes kind of a badge of belonging for the tribe. And so sometimes stepping out of that, and I see this a lot with light workers, this, who am I to step into something that feels easy and connected and flowing when they didn't have that, right? So there's that wrench of stepping out of the tribe of origin into a different experience. And then there's that sometimes that place in between where we haven't yet found and connected with those that are really reflecting who we truly are now, who we're becoming now, right? And we often talk in the work I do about having a tribe of belonging and becoming, a community of belonging and becoming, where you feel that you are supported to grow into more of who you are. Yet often in our family of origin, our tribe of origin, where they want to hold us in who they've known us to be. And often that who they know us to be is not who we are. It's just the construct that we've created in order to survive. The one that, harmonizes, the people pleaser, the good girl, the whatever it is, the one that's caring for others. So it's not actually who we are. So when we step away from that, we're actually only really generally stepping away from a false identity, but that can still bring a wrench, right? Because that's the only tribe that we've known. So, yeah, April says, feeling alone my whole life, and sometimes now I feel I can't do what I desire unless I have someone to do it with. Okay, so again, this relationship with self, as we had in the channeled message, is such a, that's the place that we start by falling in love with ourselves, by fully presencing all of the parts of ourselves, like that inner tribe. We have a tribe within us, and we want to bring all of them back online in our hearts first, right? And then we can feel that sense of tribe within us, that sense of community within ourselves. All right, so yeah, Lisa says, not allowed to have ease and happiness because you must suffer, right? That's the code for the tribe, right? That's the code of behavior, it's the code of being. Another Lisa saying, clearing my own feelings of uncertainty and fear so I can show up and see people as they truly are. We want to be seen, but also to see. Yes, the beholding can be an opportunity to free ourselves. Yeah, like often we take this so personally. We have the lens directed inwards, don't we? We're judging ourselves as if others, are seeing us. Oh, they'll see that I'm a fraud. We're looking from the outside in. We forget that, we also have that capacity to be that loving witness for others, that they're all walking around doing the same thing to themselves. Like when we wake up from that, and we do that by doing this clearing this kind of fog of feelings and limiting beliefs is around us. As we clear that, we're then able to see and witness others, and that helps them to then feel that they can step up and be seen as their authentic self, that there's a loving witness they're able to see them clearly. Safe to be me regardless of others' feelings, Chantel. Yeah. Tim says, when I find happiness, I'm waiting for something to happen that'll be taken away. Yeah, again, so we get programmed with these experiences. We get calibrated to that. If I trust somebody, they'll betray me. If I give love, I'll be trampled on, right? All of these things can happen. And then we just end up accidentally recreating that because we've just developed that as a way of seeing and experiencing the world. And so it doesn't have an option to be experienced otherwise. So the work we're doing here is clearing those imprints and that programming with this power of our compassion, so that then creates the space for us to have a different experience, right? Which feels more resonant with our soul and our being. All right, so let's do a little bit more clearing around this. Okay. All right, I'll do a few phrases let's do a few phrases around leaving the tribe, a few phrases around banishment, being found out. Okay, letting ourselves. All right. Okay, so deep breath into your heart and soul plexus. Okay. I'm so sorry you had to suffer to belong. I'm so sorry that suffering was a way of belonging. I'm so sorry humanity is a tribe of suffering. I'm so sorry everyone relates through suffering. I'm so sorry you forgot what it felt like to relate through joy and wholeness. I'm so sorry you had to witness their suffering. I'm so sorry it was painful to step away from their suffering. I'm so sorry they didn't know how to relate to you from their wholeness. I'm so sorry everyone was relating from their wounds, not their wholeness. I'm so sorry you were waiting for them to come with you. I'm so sorry you were waiting for them to set themselves free. I'm so sorry that you had to choose your freedom, but they couldn't choose theirs. I'm so sorry you're sad. I'm so sorry that you had to leave that tribe. I'm so sorry it felt lonely to leave that tribe. I'm so sorry you had to fall in love with yourself before you could fall in love with anyone else. I'm so sorry you had to see yourself before you could fully see others. I'm so sorry you hid who you truly were. I'm so sorry it took so long to unearth yourself. I'm so sorry when you found happiness, you were afraid it would be taken away again. I'm so sorry you accidentally got programmed for loss and disappointment. I'm so sorry you accidentally got programmed for rejection and betrayal. I'm so sorry just being here felt like a punishment. I'm so sorry it felt like you got banished from home. I'm so sorry you couldn't find your way back home. I'm so sorry the world felt like a cruel and scary place. I'm so sorry it felt like you were alone in the wilderness. I'm so sorry you kept looking for the welcoming lights of home, but you couldn't see them. I'm so sorry you longed for the loving embrace of your true home. I'm so sorry you forgot that home was in your heart. I'm so sorry you forgot that soul tribe was in your heart. I'm so sorry you kept seeking outside of yourself. I'm so sorry you accidentally isolated yourself. I'm so sorry you accidentally cut yourself off from the infinite supply of love. I'm so sorry you didn't know that you just had to stop searching. All right, taking a breath, letting all of that integrate. Okay, so feel free to share in the chat anything else that is arising. And let's also take a moment to really tune into the feeling of being deeply at home in ourselves and then feeling that reflected in our experiences around us, our experience of others. What if we were to walk around feeling at home, supported, loved within ourselves all the time? How would that change your interactions with others? Does that even feel possible? Yeah, Chantal, open heart always led to pain and contraction. The idea of a happy open heart was traumatic. Right? Yasmin, all we need to just do is just be in beingness. Yeah. So our hearts have this, as it said in the channel message too, what happens is we feel something, something happens and our heart closes. And then what happens is then that traps that energy within us. So even though it feels so counterintuitive, it's like putting down your weapons, putting down your shield when someone's, coming at you with aggression or something. We can practice that softening and opening our hearts, then that feeling gets to move through. It doesn't get trapped in that being. And then that space of grace opens up. Kim says, when I'm connected to my inner child, I feel love now, but day to day, I forget to connect. Right. So it needs to become a practice, right? It's a practice. We live in a world that is just pushing us to close our hearts all the time because everyone else is in that protection, right? So everyone is defending themselves. And, if you can be the person who sometimes that just takes one person to, say something from love, to open your heart, that can diffuse all of that aggression in a room, which is really ultimately just wounded children who feel unloved acting out, right? So this is the practice where we can learn to open our hearts. I've had a big week of this heart clearing, really learning to just open our hearts and witness what is arising, and that allows it to move, and then more love can come. And so this is the irony of it, that when we want more love, we often actually close down love to ourselves, right? It's the irony of it. We actually cut off the supply of exactly what it is that we're needing in this moment. And the more that we can do this for ourselves, the more that we then realize, well, that's what everyone else needs as well, right? So instead of letting our wounded child react to theirs, we then realize, oh, this is love, is what's needed. John says, I'm safe to express freely. Yeah. And my heart is strong, right? Really trusting in the power of our hearts. And ultimately, we don't even really, it feels like we're closing our hearts, but really we're closing our minds, aren't we? With a belief, it's not safe for me to trust. It's not safe for me to be open. It's not safe for them to see me, right? Those are really beliefs that then shut down the flow of love in the heart. Alison says, home is in the heart. It's easy to forget this. I'm coming home to myself and my heart. And it's so beautiful. Yeah. And it is a practice, right? In a world that is based around, self-protection and attack, right? This is a real practice to do this. So let's just say a couple of phrases around that, then I'm going to go into an activation. Okay. All right. So another deep breath into your heart and solar plexus. I'm so sorry you forgot that your heart could transmute anything. I'm so sorry you stopped trusting the power of your heart. I'm so sorry you thought your heart could be broken. I'm so sorry you denied yourself the power of your heart. I'm so sorry you denied them the power of your heart. I'm so sorry they denied themselves the power of their heart. I'm so sorry you lost faith in your heart. I'm so sorry you stopped trusting your heart. I'm so sorry you dimmed the light of your heart. I'm so sorry you shut yourself out of your own heart. Mm, taking a breath. All right. So we're going to go into our closing light language activation in a moment. Lisa says, compassion is the way of transforming our own suffering, integrating it to strengthen our own heart, to recognize suffering and respond with compassion instead of fear. The practice of being present to the situation rather than following old patterns of behavior. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. This is why I love this tool so much, because it really is just us meeting us. It's our own hearts meaning what we've been holding in our own hearts. And that's such a beautiful kind of internal feedback loop, right? And then when we get to do that well, then everyone else will show up in a very different way because they won't be hooking into the karmic imprints, the places where we've blocked ourselves, where we're holding back, right? They won't get to play out that kind of karma drama with us because that's ultimately what it is. It's one closed heart bouncing off another closed heart, and that's what creates these dynamics in our relationship. So the more that we can recognize too and start to recognize our own triggers in relationship, when that person says that, I feel this, like, what am I feeling? And giving yourself compassion. What's really arising? It's just a part of you that's arising to be met. It's like a little orphan child that's tugging at your sleeve, saying, what about me? So the compassion key gives us that power to meet those parts of ourselves. And the other people are simply offering us the opportunity to see that, to meet those parts. And then when we dissolve those, we don't have those same triggers. And then we can actually compassionately see, wow, what's going on for them when they behave that way? Like what part of them is coming up and needs their compassion? And, I just want to say too with this, like, we'd never send compassion to anyone else. We only ever give ourselves compassion around what we're observing. So you could even notice someone else. You could say to yourself, I'm so sorry he's stuck in his suffering. I'm so sorry he's playing out his pain. I'm so sorry he doesn't know how to heal himself, right? Whatever it is. But you give yourself compassion, and that can also really powerfully still shift things for the other person, because you're no longer participating in that game with them, right? You're no longer responding from your woundedness to their woundedness. You can compassionately observe that, give yourself compassion for what you witness. And this is a powerful way to really, it's great service for humanity for you to give yourself compassion for what you notice. I had an experience recently where I was just in, utter heartbreak around just the destruction on the earth, of native peoples. And I've really had to work with just being able to witness that, and just give myself compassion and just lovingly witness it, knowing that no one's ever really, cut off from source, that that's, the true nature of our souls is that we'll always find our way back home. We always are that. We are infinite and eternal, so we can never truly be lost. So I've been really feeling that and having to witness that in my own heart, and then ultimately getting to a place where I can just witness that, because that's a beautiful service to be able to just be able to witness and hold that space for all of that to shift, knowing that we don't have to fix or rescue or save anybody. So, yeah, compassionate witness. Amen, says Alison. Yeah. All right, so let's call for an activation now to really help us to be that loving, compassionate witness for ourselves, for others, right? Being able to create that space within us, within our own hearts, to just allow those energies to shift, all of those emotional residues, those limiting beliefs, those experiences that may have got locked in time and space and dimension, just using the power of our loving hearts to let that flow again. It's just energy that's got caught up, it's got trapped. And we have the power with our hearts to just allow that to flow again, to really allow that love to flow again. And as that happens, and new connections are possible, relationships can be taken to a deeper, more empowered level as we're willing to be open so others can feel that and surrender and open up themselves. So as I bring forth the light language frequencies, just allowing these to be received by your being, knowing that your higher self is directing those frequencies in the highest way for you. And we just give thanks for all we received today with that. No soy marakar kochim apele kitamu aure epe. Sasana mani imara toti aki alare itano sochis amar kole ibe adina mara antase ia. Koshila maresi marakumai ilar no ototi biakamna shipa out i malauro ita. Sa diti makiutori cha amore kita ale ite isam arote ilakar ot oi. Sama shiba no alakach id inamadoma shoro umalete i. Karasanda kakia kor achele makota mei si cham aruma aleti imasate. Kasushi malamore imari peti emosuk i shale me iatar. Tasana noni kia la markoteli. Chala sati monokotali ima sa ar id urma aleti. Tasamana chola semana kati elatin masoko te chile maso iakar kote il. Tasama chile mosakieta iakar nato ile savano emateli. Tasumane chilmo kusore emalakati ichile kumasi imaru te i. Ta se shemale kumanatale mi umari te iata. Sachina mana ki moro aloke te ina masataya kech ina mate. Lasar uno makasibere jinanim olati lakar idan sekiti chiru kumariti sana malakitaro umoti lati itina satachi ilimala koti la rena masati uma aki ilata tori ke samana chile molo pole tanale ti is sash e malakana mato. Ya iana at inuso iama are at itin soto ia he amako e te amare. You're just taking a breath, integrating the sound and light frequencies into your being. And I was being shown that just, that our hearts have these, these wings that just every feather on that wing has these like, drops of love and compassion that can just fall to dissolve any experience, no matter how deep that pain, that grief, that suffering. It's just opening up the wings of our hearts and just letting that, almost like that breeze, from the wings flapping, that gentle breeze that just washes over all experiences. There's nothing that can't be transmuted by our hearts. And the more that we can trust in the power of our hearts, the more that we can walk around with our hearts open, knowing that we don't need any type of protection. We really don't. That that openness is itself a place of sanctuary and safety. And when you walk around like that, others are really going to feel that, right? And you're going to find that people will be magnetized to you. They'll just want to be in your presence because they'll feel the sweetness of that, right? And it will remind them that is within themselves as well, right? Truly, that sanctuary, that home, that soul tribe, soul family is all within each of us. And that's the journey that all of us are on at this powerful, powerful time on the earth. So beautiful. So, again, take a breath of thanks. Thank you all for bringing your beautiful hearts to this practice today, this clearing, this activation. Shanta says already happening. No more boundaries, Chantel. No boundaries. Thank you. Thank you all, lovely. So I'll send out the replay and the channel message, and you can check out previous sessions as well on YouTube on my channel. Kim says, thanks so much. Yeah, I love the compassion key. Yeah, I love it too. It's just so simple, so profound, and so powerful. And it isn't often that these simple things that we make it so complicated. That's the mind. Drop back into the heart. The heart's got it. Beautiful. Thanks, Chantel. Yes, infinite heart light to everyone. Thanks, April. Great. Beautiful. Thanks. Feeling full abundance. We're enough is enough for everyone. 5 billion of our suns in the newest big sun found in the universe. Yes. The multiverse. Yeah, beautiful. All right, lovelies. Thank you so much. When I send out the replays, also an invitation if you want to connect with me just for a 30-minute session. We can work on a little bit more, something that's coming up for you. Love doing this work. So thank you all for being yourselves, and I'll see you next month. There'll be another theme, and feel free also to let me know any themes that you'd like to have these sessions on. Right, it helps everyone. So tune into that. All right, lots of love, everyone. Have a beautiful day
Thank
on
you.
wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you,
And thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
Louise. Thank you,
thank you.
everyone.
Lovies. Bye.